So in this presentation, I'm going to be talking about how you're going to change your oil. So everybody has either known somebody or even you have had car troubles before. It's just, how cars are. You're going to break down, you're going to be, sitting there. But there are easy steps to fix that, and changing your oil could be one of them. So cars are very difficult at times, so you need to change your oil regularly to keep you on the road, to stop you from having, gaskets blown or, your car just going crazy and ceasing on you and just stopping in the middle of the road. So in this presentation, I'm going to talk about when you should change your oil, what you need to change your oil, and how you should change your oil. So in my first point, I'm going to talk about when you should. Um, in the article, When You Should Change Your Oil, written by Ronald Montana, in 2010, he says that you should follow your owner's manual, because this is a great way to know when you should change your oil and whatnot. Normally, it's about every 3,000 miles, 3 to 5,000 miles, also every about 3 months or so. But in the oil owner's manual, the people that made the car will just put on there like, hey, change it 3,000 miles, change it 3,500 miles. It just helps explaining that to you. So I think this is very great, and this is what everybody should follow by. There are special cases, like you can get oil that tells you that it can go up to 10,000 miles. They're not recommended, but people do it anyway. And I've heard people that can last that long on their engine. It might not be the best, but you can definitely do it. But the best way is to follow that owner's manual. Um, since we discussed when you should change your oil, let's move on to the next point of what you need to change your oil. So, in the article, How to Change Your Oil, written by Dan Edmonds in 2015, he says that you'll need a wrench, an oil filter wrench, an oil drain pan, a funnel, glove, and then jacks and jack stands. So, yeah, so we'll go over each one of these. So you need a wrench to get off the oil drain pan. On most cars, it's like a 10 or something like that. It's just, you just put it on there and just start ratcheting away. You can either use a wrench or a ratchet every socket. Then you also need the oil, the new oil. You will have to get rid of the old oil first, which will go on in a later point. And it will, be a little it can get a little messy, but the most difficult part that people normally get is the oil wrench itself. A lot of people don't have this tool, but it is a lifesaver. You just put it on there, and you can just get the oil filter right off. So we're, let's go ahead and go on to our next point of how to change your oil. So changing your oil should only take about 20 to 30 minutes. It can be quicker if you get into it. If you haven't done it before, it might take you a little longer because you don't know how to do it. So one of the first things that you need to do is you need to jack up your car. You just have to find the frame, put your jack in there, and put it up. Jack it up, and then I like to put jack stands under there just in case, because I have a hydraulic jack. You never know when it could fail, and the car could fall on top of you. But if you put that jack stand there, you'll be perfectly fine. That thing will keep the car up, and then you won't be in any danger. So first you got to take out the oil drain plug. I said that in my last statement. It's just a little wrench that you just take it off. When you take it off, you need your oil pan there. When your oil pan is there, it's going to catch all that old oil. So you just take it off. Normally, I get a paper towel or just clean up the oil. That's just personal preference to me. Some people don't do that. It's totally up to you what you want to do. But after that starts draining and it's, very thin, just dripping very slowly, you just go next to the filter. That's where that filter wrench comes in. You just put it on there and take it off, and then you get out your new one. With your new one, you have to get some of the old oil and then put it on the film at the top of the oil filter. That's going to help it stick together a lot easier, and then whenever you take it off, you're not going to have that gasket get stuck in your engine, because that can happen. It does happen on a bunch of Nissans, and they will cause you to leak oil. So after that's done and you have your oil filter on, make sure they're very tight, and so no oil gets out, because that's the worst thing in the world, is that if you put in all that oil and then you put it in the new oil and then it just drains out. It's horrible. So yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. You just take off the little oil thing at the top of the engine and pour it on in, and then you're perfectly fine. So now, if you keep your car in maintenance, you will keep the difficult part of owning a car closer to a minimum. So now that we know how to change our oil, we can keep it from blowing in the headers on our car. Now that you know you need to change your oil, makes it easier and faster for you, and knowing how to change your oil will save you money in the long run. Because if you take it to like Valvoline or something like that, it's going to cost easily, Walmart does it for like $20. So, yeah, that's my way of changing oil. Thank you.